No civil rights issue has dominated 21st century discussions more than gay rights. Standing up for gay rights has been a long and difficult journey. Although several states, like New York, California, Massachusetts, Vermont, and Hawaii are recognized for taking a stand in history for gay rights, Wisconsin played a significant role in the stand for gay rights in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Important people including David Clarenbach, Lloyd Barbie, and Leon Rouse led Wisconsin to become the first state to outlaw discrimination based on sexual orientation. Because of this heroic stand, Wisconsin was nationally recognized in 1982 as the gay rights state. Homosexuality is sexual attraction between people of the same sex. Sexual orientation is romantic or sexual attraction towards any other person. Long before the modern era, people felt like they could not express who they loved. The 1920s was when society began heavily discriminating against gay and lesbian people. People that publicly expressed they were gay got harassed, mistreated, and judged by most of society. The Stonewall riots were a pivotal moment in the gay rights movement. The atrocious actions of the police towards the gay patrons at the Stonewall Inn Tavern in New York City began the LGBT movement of civil rights in the United States. Starting on June 28, 1969, customers from a gay bar in Greenwich Village were angry about the cruelty from the police. They were upset, so they called the Stonewall Inn and a riot broke out. Right outside the Stonewall Inn, protesters rioted for hours, and the police sent riot control to scatter the crowd. The riots encouraged the LGBT people in New York to start forming advocacy groups. This emotional event inspired many across the nation to come out of the closet. Coming out of the closet was a big deal for many people. They felt vulnerable and afraid. Coming out was hard, but they were able to have a sense of self-respect. Living in the dark was hard when certain bars were their only outlet. The Stonewall riot encouraged many to truly express who they were to friends and family on the street. Slowly, awareness of gay rights turned to action in many states. January 1, 1973, Maryland becomes the first state to statutorily ban same-sex marriage. 1974, Kathy Kozachenko becomes the first openly LGBT American elected to any public office when she wins a seat on the Ann Arbor, Michigan City Council. 1974, Elaine Noble is the first openly gay candidate elected to a state office when she is elected to the Massachusetts State Legislature. January 9, 1978, Harvey Milk is inaugurated as San Francisco City Supervisor and is the first openly gay man to be elected into political office in California. 1996, Hawaii is the first state to recognize that gay and lesbian couples are entitled to the same privileges as heterosexual married couples. April 26, 2000, Vermont becomes the first state to legalize civil unions between same-sex couples. May 17, 2004, the first legal same-sex marriage in the United States occurs in Massachusetts. October 25, 2006, the New Jersey Supreme Court rules that state lawmakers must provide the rights and benefits of marriage to gay and lesbian couples. May 15, 2008, the California Supreme Court rules in marriage cases that limiting marriage to opposite-sex couples is unconstitutional. Lost in all this mix is Wisconsin's prominent role in the advancement of gay rights. By 1982, Wisconsin will be recognized as the gay rights state. The road to this title, however, was long and challenging. Early attempts at advancing gay rights in Wisconsin were challenged by anti-gay activists. In 1967, Milwaukee legislator and civil rights activist Lloyd Barbie created a bill to decriminalize homosexuality, and all consenting sexual practices in the state was rejected by the Assembly. In 1971, Barbie's bill to protect gays and lesbians from job discrimination did not pass. Barbie's efforts would be the foundation for later legislation. The foundation for gay rights advancement in Wisconsin was also laid by Milwaukee College student Leon Rouse. Rouse took a stand against anti-gay Christian fundamentalists trying to repeal gay rights ordinances. Rouse organized progressive religious leaders to support gay rights bills. Many religious leaders, including the Catholic Archbishop in Milwaukee, publicly petitioned state legislators to respect gays. With foundation laid by Barbie and momentum built by Rouse, Representative David Clarenbach challenged traditional beliefs in the state capitol. Clarenbach brilliantly reframed the gay rights legislation to be about civil rights. He asked legislators to take a stand against intolerance. He and Rouse's followers pushed for an anti-gay discrimination law in Wisconsin. Getting the bill to pass was no easy task at the time. The Reverend Richard Pritchard led the opposition in Madison, and several statewide church leaders insisted that being gay was a sin. Their stand met stiff opposition from Christian radio stations, encouraging their listeners to bombard legislators with phone calls to stop the passage of the civil rights legislation. In the end, civil rights stood over the bigotry of the times. On February 25, 1982, Wisconsin became the first state to pass a bill that made it illegal for a state or business to discriminate against people based on sexual preference in the workforce. Wisconsin emerged as a leader in gay rights initiative. It would take years, but eventually almost every state adopted the same laws for gays in the working place. Considering the divisive politics of today, it is worth noting that this legislation was passed surprisingly with bipartisan support. In fact, Wisconsin Governor Lee Dreyfus, who signed the bill into law, was a Republican. He lobbied for the legislation as a matter of basic human rights. Dreyfus stated in the Wisconsin State Journal that, "I have decided to sign this bill for one basic reason: to protect one's right to privacy." The rights of gays in the United States have recently improved. The rights LGBTQA+ people have today came about slowly. While many people know about famous events like the Stonewall riots in New York, the pro-gay activism of those in San Francisco, and marriage rights extended to gay people in Massachusetts, nestled underneath these milestones are the brave acts of Wisconsinites in advancing gay rights. Wisconsin opened the door to gay rights awareness and encouraged other states to follow. Wisconsin's stand was a key moment in gay rights history.